It's July 15th, and I pulled out the corn that had blown over from the storm, and there are the corn cobs over there. I'll probably freeze those. But and I just took a butterfly hoe and chopped out all the weeds and chopped up the soil a little bit to loosen it up for the fall carrots. And I also tossed in a little bit of urea fertilizer and some azomite, which is a lot of little rock minerals. You can really do that any time of the year. Helps enrich the soil over the long term. But over here in this first row, we got the dragon variety, and down at the end on the first row is bull's blood beets. And then here is a whole row of Napoli carrots with pelleted seed. I'm probably going to cover these rows with some burlap to help them germinate. And then here I already dug the furrows, but I'm probably going to wait to plant for a couple of weeks for these rows here. Let this corn produce and then rip it out of the ground. The last time you can plant carrots here in southeast Kansas. Planted these a couple weeks ago, but a lot of the beets came up. There's some decent germination of carrots down there where I put the burlap to shade. It's looking like these really are getting burnt up in this heat wave we're having. So I'm gonna lay burlap bags that I've cut there all along these two long rows that I plant. Hopefully that'll help with germination. Before I plant, I think I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of this azomite. I'll do it every 2 to 3 years just to put some extra minerals in the ground. I don't really measure it out, I just sprinkle it on the soil and rake it in. Got those minerals mixed in. Now raked the bed up nice and take the rake and just start making a row for them. Got my rows all done. I'm gonna sprinkle these Napoli pelleted carrots all on the row, and then over here in this second row I'm gonna try to fill it in again, see if I can get some better germination. I just pulled up the last of the corn, hung up the good stalks here so I can save them for fall decorations. Soil's looking pretty good, but I gotta plant 2 full rows of carrots here because about mid-August is probably the last done planting carrots. Lay this burlap over them and check them after about a week. The cabbages and broccolis are doing all right under the shade cloth. It's been over 100 degrees quite a few days in a row now. Got 3 rows of beans growing, and I'm gonna plant one more. Try to get this work done before 9 a.m. Here's what I'm talking about. Got that blossom end rot, lack of calcium. So, got my water container full of Epsom salt. Water the base. I've noticed a lot of blossom end rot on some of my tomatoes. So I'm going to take a tablespoon or two of Epsom salt, mix it in this 2-gallon watering container, and water the row of tomatoes. While I'm applying this Epsom salt, might as well hit these peppers. They've been pretty good and productive, but there's been a few of them with blossom end rot. It's a jungle back here. I need to figure out a different system next year with these tomatoes. I thought they would be more determinate, but they keep growing. Makes it hard to harvest. I just harvested the peppers a few days ago. They're already loaded again. And the tomatoes. Can't keep up. Well, I made my way through the jungle. I got a whole nother bag full of tomatoes. So, after 3 days ago, filling my whole kitchen up with tomatoes and peppers, I'm about to do it again here on Saturday. 3 to 4 days after just picking through peppers and tomatoes. Got a whole nother round. More tomatoes and peppers. My woman was picking them out this afternoon while I was taking a nap after my round of golf. Some more of these red night peppers. They are very prolific. Excellent variety. Bought them from Johnny Seeds. Here we have a lemon boy. Nice little size for a chopping up, putting on a sandwich. Then you got this guy here is Martino's Roma. They've been disappointing, kind of small, lots of blossom end rot. This one doesn't, but you can see this one does. The Plum Regals, 0 blossom end rot, nice size. Very prolific, lots still on the plant. And there should be a Super Marzano in here somewhere. But they haven't had any blossom end rot either. Here is a Super Marzano. Look at that little point on the end. They've done pretty well. But I'll probably stick with the Plum Regal. Still got some seeds left over in my packet for next year. Here we have the Sun Gold. It's been productive as always. They're prone to splitting, but I might try to find a different variety for next year. Been harvesting a lot of cucumbers. These Chicago pickling have been doing well. The Ford Hook zucchini from Baker Creeks have been growing nicely. I don't know if this one over here has produced a zucchini though. Might have a problem. The spaghetti squash is sprawling all over the place. There's one there. Butternut squash. Watermelon. A couple of those. I don't know if there's any more growing. Lots of zinnias. The American giant sunflowers. They bend over a lot and great big sunflower heads on them. There's the Russian mammoths over there. They have a smaller head, stand more upright. These acorn squash are a nice bush variety. They don't seem to be sprawling all over. We'll have to see what kind of uh-oh, there's some squash bugs. Eggs. So, I did a late planting with my squashes, so I haven't had any problems yet. Looks like we got one that rotted here. Hopefully we get a lot of squashes. Might be about time to test those watermelons. My poor cabbages. Totally skeletonized by some cabbage worms, I assume. Looks like I'm gonna have to go to Van Beesler's greenhouse and just buy some vegetable starts there. Try again here in a week or so. Might have to invest in a insect cloth, or that Agribon 15 is pretty cheap. The beans are looking good though. We should have plenty of beans coming in here in a few weeks. And of course the tomatoes and peppers have been very prolific this year. I don't know, next year I might have to figure out a way to keep the tomatoes a little more tidy. They were kind of taking over the pepper area behind them. I think the shade cloth has helped, but also it hasn't been as bad of a summer as the last two.